D-Man, I have come to Presque Isle Downs Casino to try to change my luck and continue the role that I started last week. Last week I was 3-1, D-Man 1-2-1. I am 3 games behind the D-Man. He's 14-9-1 on the year. I am 12-11-1. And D-Man, I'm going to start with the Browns. They are 10-point underdogs at home to the Ravens. I don't see any way that the Ravens don't cover the 10 points. Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram, and that Ravens defense remembers how the Browns beat them up in week 4. Since that time, they've won 10 straight, and their offense has only gotten better. Browns defense continues to struggle. You saw what Kenyon Drake did. You saw what Kyler Murray did last year. It's going to be more of the same with Lamar Jackson running the football in a physical style, and also Mark Ingram doing the same. I think the Ravens run all over the Browns. Let's toss it back to the D-Man in studio to make his picks. D-Man, what do you think of that Browns-Ravens game?
Well, first of all, Dave, congratulations on going 3-1 this past week. My picks begin with the Ravens -10 over at the Browns. This isn't even going to be close. The Ravens are the #1 AFC seed, and they need the game to stay there or to lock it up. They have extra incentive because the Browns beat them in Baltimore in week 4. Lamar Jackson is the front runner for MVP. The Ravens are relatively healthy. So the Browns are going to get the full throttle Ravens, and the Browns, as we saw, are dysfunctional and just going through the motions. They're 6-8 now, coming off a terrible loss against the Cardinals in Arizona. So I see the Ravens winning this one easily. I think my pick for the plain dealer in cleveland.com is 40-9. Next pick for me is the Denver Broncos at home, laying 7 against the Detroit Lions. Yes, I understand the Broncos lost in week 15. They got handled, but it was by the Chiefs in Arrowhead. To that point, the Broncos have been playing reasonably well with Drew Lock, and I expect them to rebound at home. And you also have the opponent, Detroit, going nowhere and having to leave climate-controlled conditions to come out and play outdoors in Denver in December. So it's a favorable matchup for the Broncos to win comfortably. My next game, I'm going to take the Falcons -7 against the Jaguars. The Falcons are coming off of an improbable victory in Santa Clara over the San Francisco 49ers. I'm not sure how they did it, but they did it. They come home. They're not going to the playoffs, but I think they'll be at home coming off of that stirring victory. I find it hard to believe they're going to stumble against the bad Jaguars. Recognizing, though, that the Jaguars themselves went out west in week 15 and rallied to beat the Oakland Raiders. So I guess there's some fight left in the terrible Jaguars, but I plan on the Falcons and Matt Ryan winning by at least double digits in that one. And then my final game is a pick-em. Give me the home Dolphins over the Bengals. I'm not bullish on the Dolphins, but I am certainly not bullish on the Bengals. 2 terrible teams. I will say this. I was impressed by the fight that Miami showed against the Browns when they were in Cleveland a few weeks ago with Brian Flores as the coach. So I'm relying on the Dolphins to hold serve in the battle of 2 terrible teams. Give me the Dolphins on a pick-em over the Bengals. Those are my 4 plays, Dave, and I hope you continue your success and build off of Week 15.
D-Man, hard for me to argue with you. You have a 3-game lead on me as we begin the week. I'm going to start with the Cowboys, 2.5-point favorites on the road in Philadelphia for the NFC East championship and spot in the playoffs. It's been a mess of a season for the Cowboys. They go out and win this, get in the playoffs. They can do everything that they wanted to do still. I think the difference here is Ezekiel Elliott. I think he has a big game against the Eagles defense. I also think the Cowboys defense finds a way to give all kinds of trouble to Carson Wentz. Wentz has been up and down. The fact that it is in Philadelphia does concern me a little bit, but I think the Cowboys find a way to get it done to win the NFC East. I'm going to go to Sunday night, and I like the Chiefs, -6 against the Bears in Chicago. The Chiefs still have a very, very real chance of trying to get that #1 seed in the AFC and at least get a bye. I like Patrick Mahomes. I know Chicago's defense is pretty good, but I don't think they have the answer for the Chiefs. They may slow them down, but I don't think there's any way that Chicago's offense, with Mentor's Mitch Trubisky, can mount a serious attack against Kansas City. Again, I like the Chiefs, -6 in Chicago. And then Monday night, the Packers, +6 on the road in Minnesota. I really like the Packers getting 6. Packers still very much alive in the NFC race to get that #1 seed. Certainly alive for the chance to get that first round bye. I like the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, that offense has been clicking on all cylinders. And Dalvin Cook, a big weapon for the Minnesota Vikings, not going to play. So I really like the Packers getting 6 on the road against Minnesota. Those are my picks. I'm coming to get you, D-Man, and we'll see who ends up with the lead in our head-to-head picks. Again, D-Man leads me by 3 games going into this final week.